Welcome to my channel. This is Trish. It's Rooster Girl Farms. If you've been watching my series, we have been talking about raising backyard chickens, and I live on a small 2-acre farm, and I raise a small flock of chickens, and I have been sharing with you my experiences that I have raising backyard chickens for about 14 years, 13, 14 years. Started raising them when my children were young, and now they are teenagers. Help me. Okay, so we are going to talk today about, yes, we are going to talk today about eggs. Okay, where to begin? I know that out there right now, everybody is, there's talk about the cost of eggs because it's gone crazy high for whatever reason. I've watched so many different videos on the feed and how it's not producing, or they're not selling feed with the proper amount of protein in it. People's chickens aren't laying eggs. Wow, that's a whole topic that I don't want to really talk to you about on this video. So today we're just gonna talk about eggs. Okay, so I showed you a video before I started talking on this video. I showed you a video of how I get my eggs. So every morning I go out to my coop and I collect my eggs. Now, right now I only have probably six chickens that are able to lay eggs. 2 of my chickens are old, and I know I can't get rid of them. But anyways, they probably aren't laying. And then 2 of my chickens are roosters. So obviously they're not going to lay. So I have 6 chickens. And those 6 chickens, 2 of them are my Samanis. They're the black chickens. They lay white eggs. They have not produced any eggs for me this winter, like at all. During the summertime, they're young birds. They're the youngest ones that I have. They produce 1 egg a day, each one of them. So they are definitely not heavy egg layers from my experience. I have some light Brahma chickens. They're my big fluffy white chickens out there. They aren't really heavy egg layers either. They lay in the summertime when they're laying good. They only lay about 2 eggs, probably a week, 2 or 3 eggs a week. So I have 2 of those chickens out there. So they should, when it comes to, when the springtime comes and they start laying more, they should give me about 4 eggs a week from those 2 chickens. I have a Orpington out there, a Buff Orpington. She is a yellow chicken. I have 2 of them out there. They actually are pretty heavy egg layers. And they can lay anywhere from 3 to 4 eggs a week typically in the springtime when they're laying good. So that is pretty much all my chickens. So when spring comes along, I should be getting roughly 8 or 9 eggs a week from those 6 chickens that I have, which isn't enough for our family because we have teenage boys and I bake a lot of stuff. So I need more hens, and I have had just the greatest luck with them. However, right now they're really the price is kind of going up and they are getting scarce. Like I can't order what I normally want. It's getting to be where I'm not going to be able to get them till like June. And that's a little bit longer than I wanted to. I wanted to get them in like the end of March or the beginning of April. With that being said, because chickens usually take 14 to 16 weeks to lay their first egg. So it takes a little time for them to lay their egg. So I might be looking into other options there. I can't seem to quite push that button to pay that amount of money for them to come to my house when I could probably have different options when it gets closer to spring, like at the feed stores or wherever that sells baby chicks. Which that might be limited too because of the scare out there with the chickens and the eggs and all that. So it's going to be interesting what it'll look like here in a few months. So when you seen this video that I posted, or the video that I showed you before I'm talking, I go out, I collect my eggs, and then I bring them in to my house, and I put them in my little swirly egg doodad thing here. And these two are the eggs that I collected this morning, actually. They were out there this morning, so I got 2 eggs. They are, I would consider this like a light brown, and this is like a cream colored. So 2 different chickens are laying eggs for me. Right now I have 2 chickens laying, it looks like. I have been getting about 3 eggs every other day, or 2 eggs. It's just been about 3 eggs total for one day. So I might be having 3 chickens that are laying. I'm not sure. So I also, when I collect my eggs, I don't wash them. You don't have to wash them because if you look at it, it's relatively clean. And the reason why it's clean is because I keep my nesting boxes clean. If you don't clean your nesting boxes regularly, they will collect poop. They'll poop in them. They will have muddy feet if it's muddy outside, and then you will have a nasty egg that you have to clean. And once you clean that egg, once you clean it, you're actually removing this protective coating that is around the egg that protects that egg from bacteria. So once you clean an egg, it's going to have to go in the refrigerator. And I mean, it can store in the refrigerator for several months. However, I don't do that. These eggs don't last very long in my house. But you can keep them on your counter, not wash, for weeks to a month. And if you were having a lot of eggs and you were selling those eggs, I would recommend putting a date on them. Also would recommend getting your eggs every single day. So if you have children that you rely on to get your eggs, be careful. Because mine would fib a little and say, oh, there's no eggs. And then I go out there and there'd be like 25, and I have a chicken that's broody and sitting on my eggs, which means that she's thinking that she's going to have babies. And then she stops laying, and it's a whole big deal. My youngest son doesn't really like chickens. He's scared of them for good reason. He got attacked by a rooster when he was young that winded him up in the hospital. So that's an entirely different video. So anyways, just make sure you're getting your eggs every single day or twice a day, even if you have a lot of chickens. Like when I had 40 chickens, I would get a slew of eggs. If I went away for the weekend and came back, a running joke in our house would be, okay, how many eggs do you think we got out there? And it would typically be anywhere from 30 to 40 eggs waiting for us when we got back. So you want to make sure you get your eggs every day so you know that they're fresh, and you know that they're not, sitting out there for a long time, because if you ever crack open a rotten egg, you will make sure that you don't do that and that you get your eggs and that they're fresh. So there's a way that you can tell if an egg is fresh. Like you can get some, like a bowl of water or a pan, like a frying pan, and you can fill it up and then drop your egg in the water. And if your egg sinks to the bottom, and it kind of goes to the side, then that's a good egg. If it sinks to the bottom and just kind of stays like this, that means you probably should eat it soon. And then if your egg floats to the top, just throw it away. Don't try that egg. It's no good. Okay. Sometimes when you have a rooster, because you can have eggs obviously without a rooster. You don't need a rooster. Why do people have roosters? Well, to protect their hens. They're good protectors from predators or whatever. They're loud. They will protect their hens most of the time. But they can, if you have a rooster, then you're going to have the potential for having baby chicks. So a lot of times if you want to know if your eggs are fertile, when you crack it open, there'll be a little speck of blood in there. That means that is a fertile egg. So that's just a tidbit there. So don't clean your eggs. I mean, you can. When I first had chickens and I was giving them away to people, I would clean them, scrub them, because I thought, oh gosh, I don't have poop on them. But it's really fine. It is if you keep them clean. Their nesting box is clean every day. So they have that. If you are interested in the color of eggs, like the different types of colored eggs, there is, obviously, like I said, this is the cream colored egg. This is a darker brown, and you can have like a chocolate brown egg. You have blue eggs, you can have green eggs, white eggs. That just depends on your chicken. Like I said, our Somanis out there, they lay white eggs. I think Rhode Island Reds will do like a dark chocolate egg. I usually have just brown egg layers. I have had an olive egger that have laid green eggs. And then the blue eggs, I've never had a chicken that lays blue eggs, but I would like to. And then you can experiment with that. You can crossbreed them, and then you can have all these different colors if you want to get into the colors of the eggs. As far as my knowledge goes, every egg is fine. Doesn't matter what color they are. Just an egg is an egg. They're just prettier. So once you have collected your eggs and you want to use your eggs, obviously you crack your eggs open, right? And then if you look, there is like a there's like a embryo, I want to say. It's not embryo, that's not the right word. But there's a coating in there. I crack my eggs open and it's still wet in there. And then I'll just set them on like a plate. Mine's my chicken. And I just let them sit there for a day. And then what happens is, here's a better one because you can kind of see. What happens is it dries out in there. And then once it's dried, as you see in that video, I stick them in my mason jar and then I crumble them up. Make sure they're dry. A lot of people will put them in the oven. They say that kills bacteria. You just don't ever want to do it when they're wet. Don't store your eggs in like a mason jar when they're not dry, and then they'll get moldy and bacteria and they're no good. So make sure they're dry. Either, like I said, you can bake them in the oven for a few minutes, or you can let them sit on your counter and dry out. Either way, it's fine. I'm not eating the egg. It says something about cutting back on bacteria if you bake them, but I've never had a problem with it. So once they're dry, then I do that. I will crumble them up, and then I will go back out and I will throw them to my chickens, especially in the wintertime. In the summertime, I have a lot of eggs, so I do not just feed those to my chickens. I will put them in my garden. There's lots of good things that you can use your old eggshells for, but that's just what I do. And what that does is that gives your chickens more calcium, obviously, and then you will have a better egg. It'll be stronger. The shell will be stronger. It's better for the chickens to have the eggshells, and they'll eat them right up. So that is what I do with my eggshells. So if you were thinking about selling eggs, just be aware of what you need. Like you can't use used cartons. You got to buy all new cartons. There's certain regulations for it when you're selling eggs. So just be aware of that. So when you store an egg, or once you put an egg in your egg carton, there is a way to put the egg in it. You want to make sure that you're putting the pointy part down. Don't put it in like this. You want the pointy part down. There's a reason for that. I don't remember what it was, but that's what I always make sure I do, is I put the pointy part down. There's rumors that like if you have a pointy A, you know that's going to be a rooster. Again, I've never researched that to know that for sure. But okay, I think that is all the information I have today about eggs. Maybe that'll help you to know what chickens to get, what type of eggs you want, how much they're going to lay each day, what you can do with your leftover eggs, how to store the eggs, keep your nesting boxes clean. I hope you got some kind of information and enjoyment out of this video. Y'all have a great, wonderful day. Until next time, bye-bye.